We're getting closer to the Summer Olympics. In what regards does your preparation change being this much closer to it after such a long waiting period?
It really doesn't change. I think the only change will come about a couple weeks before the games. We'll start to taper down a little bit, but right now my regimen's staying the same, lifting 3 days a week on the track, once a week, doing hill runs once a week, doing some Pilates here and there, and then beach practices. So I'm trying to stay in a routine and then keep up my strength for London.
How much are you practicing? Is it several hours every single day, 7 days a week? Do you take a few days off? How often are you practicing?
4 to 5 days a week for 2 hours on the sand with Carrie, and then our other conditioning programs are outside of that.
Looking at your chances for a third straight gold medal, what would you say about that right now?
I mean, anytime you show up to a tournament, it's everybody's gunning for the same thing. All the countries are getting stronger, but Carrie and I feel very confident that we're going to get our rhythm back. We finished number 2 in the world behind the Brazilians this year after 2 years not competing and without a full off season. Well, this year we have a full off season, so we're expecting bigger and better things this year.
How have you two been able to pretty much stay on top for such a long period of time?
I think it can be very tough, but we're always striving to get better, and I think that's what makes us such a strong team and such strong competitors is we're never satisfied, and we're so nitpicky. You know, we want to be that much better every time we step on the court. But we know other teams are gunning for us. We've been beaten by the Brazilian team, so there's a lot of things that we want to brush up on. But I think never being satisfied is what makes us strong.
I know that obviously you have this Olympics to look forward to. How much have you considered how long you're going to keep doing it as a team?
I'm looking at this Olympics. I'll be 35, so I mean, there's other avenues I'd like to go down. I'm finishing up a master's in coaching and athletic administration, so I can coach one day. I would like a family. So I mean, there's more to life than just volleyball. But right now, the focus is on London.
Definitely. And I know that your husband signed with the Dodgers as a free agent. Is this going to be pretty much the first time for you where he's going to be playing in a town where you mostly train and reside for the most part?
It'll be nice that because our seasons coincide with each other, that we're not completely opposite parts of the country. So it is going to be nice. This hasn't happened the whole time we've been married. It's been over 7 years, so it's very exciting for us. Right now we're in the process of settling our home that we've kind of neglected and used it as storage unit because we've been so in and out and lived in Florida part-time. So it's nice to actually be home and see family and friends and really spend time with each other.
How tough is it to maintain a relationship like that where you're both professional athletes traveling busy pretty frequently?
Communication's a big key, especially for what we do, because a lot of our time is spent apart. But during the off season, and especially now, we're together, so it's finding hours in the day that we can really reconnect and sit down. And actually, I've partnered with Stofers. They have a new campaign called Put the Two Back in Tuesdays, and what it is, it's the meal that Matt and I use. It's called Sautés for Two, and it's actually perfect. We can be in the kitchen at the same time, cook together, then take the meal to the dinner table and sit down and kind of reminisce about the week, the happenings of the day, and it's just taking that special time with that special someone to really reconnect.
When you guys are on the road, do you try and do something similar in order to do that? Just set a time for like a phone conversation to keep it together?
Um, when we first were married and first started dating, Skype wasn't around, so thank goodness for Skype. So video calling when we can, depending on the time frame. But our cell phone company is very happy because our bills jump up quite a bit during the season when we're not in the same part of town. So we try to talk daily, and like I said, even when we're apart, we're still communicating, but when we're together, that communication is really more important, and that's why it's great, because we want other couples to do the same thing.
Let me ask you specifically about London anticipating the summer games. We hear some stories, we have an idea of what it's like, but most of us have never been in the Olympic Village, living with the athletes, being around all the people and everything. What is it like to, whatever it is, living in the bunks and stuff, in the, village with the athletes? What's that like?
It's really funny because I got asked this question not too long ago, and I hate to report to you that I have no idea, because we only get to stay in the village for the first couple days, because our venue is usually on the outskirts of town. So the last three Olympics, we've stayed close to our venue, so we haven't had the opportunity to live amongst the athletes in the village. So I'm like you, I get to read about it in the paper, and when I do have time to go back, it is fun to kind of walk around and see athletes from different countries that you only see from afar or on TV.
Do you think that maybe that's somewhat of an advantage to help keep you focused?
It is nice, and a lot of people don't realize that our event lasts 2 weeks, where some, they may only be in one certain event that lasts 1 or 2 days, and then they're done, and then the rest of the time they get to sightsee or party, and so it does help to stay focused by staying closer to our venue. I prefer it, even though it's nice to interact with other athletes and to learn about different cultures that people come from. But we're there for a job, and we're there for a reason, and we want the gold.
Yeah, just on that point, I mean, we saw it last week with the Super Bowl. You see it with the Olympics. There's such a big deal made about it. There are so many people watching, corporate sponsors, business people who, pretty much want a piece of you and everything like that. With all that going on, with all the partying, with all the people there and the atmosphere, how tough is it to try and focus on it being a business trip where you're trying to win the gold and balancing out everything else?
It's not tough if you have a goal in mind and you're going to do everything that you can to get there. Um, you know, so you just remind people, like my family, before heading to the Olympics. I will have told them, or they'll know. I might not see them every day because I am there for a purpose. So they don't pressure me. Hey, can you meet us for dinner? Can you do this? No, because they know after the last ball falls, all is said and done, I have all the time in the world to hang out and sightsee. So, it's kind of balancing and not getting drawn into the peer pressure. But those type of activities are fun. I mean, the Super Bowl is fun. Congratulations to the Giants. I'm here in New York and they have the parade going on. The Olympics. What's so great about the Olympics is it is such a big stage, but it's the one time the world kind of stops and unites through athletics. So that upon itself is a celebration.
Let's say that you do achieve your goal and win the gold in London. Is that something that you think you're going to go out on that note? Have you gotten that far?
I think I try to live day to day, and my mom passed away over 9 years ago, and she taught me to live life to the fullest. So I could leave here tomorrow and somebody could tell me, hey, you can't play volleyball anymore or something. God forbid nothing happens, but